Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today, let's start with the part 2 of management and administration chapter, the question and answer format that we had started. Okay, so let's start with the part 2. First question. In the general meeting of Amit Limited, the chairman directed to exclude certain matters detrimental to the interest of the company from the minutes. Manoj, a shareholder, contended that the minutes must contain fair and correct summary for the proceedings thereat. Decide whether the contention of Manoj is maintainable under the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, RTP question, and also followed by mock test paper in the next year. Now let's see this. Let's look into the key part. See, first, Manoj is contending, who is a shareholder. He's saying that the company must provide a fair and correct summary in relation to the minutes. What had happened in the company, they should provide the fair and correct summary. The contention of Manoj just saying that, see, we want a fair and correct summary, that is all fine. But the chairman has been given powers under section number 118, read with rule 25, where the chairman can exclude the DIDA matters. Remember, DIDA we had done in the class, DIDA. And DIDA is basically what? So the chairman, if he thinks that some matter is defamatory to any person, or it is irrelevant or immaterial, or the matter is detrimental to the company's interest, the chairman has absolute discretion, that is absolute power he has to select which matter to be included in the minutes, which matter to be excluded. If the chairman thinks that a matter is detrimental to the interest of the company, can he exclude it? The answer is yes. Okay. So Manoj saying that, see, chairman cannot do this, that is not correct. So Manoj's contention in this case is incorrect. Easy. Next one. Veena Limited held its AGM on 15 September 2021. The meeting was presided over by Mr. Mohan Rao, the chairman of the company's board of directors. On September 17, 2021, Mr. Mohan Rao, the chairman, without signing the minutes of the meeting, left India to look after his father, who fell sick in London. Referring to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, state the manner in which the minutes of the above meeting are to be signed in the absence of Mr. Mohan Rao and by whom. Okay. Now, in this, we had done the Ek Do Teen song. This is uh, falling in Rule 25, which is in relation to minutes of meetings. Yeah. So it was each type of meeting entry, every resolution, each page initialed or signed, last page dated and signed BCCC GMCD BBCD, minutes book kept at the registered office, preserved permanently, kept in the custody of CS, director duly authorized by the board. That was the song, correct? Here we sing in the song, there comes a part where we say GMCD, GMCD, PBCD, like that we sing. GMCD basically means in the general meeting, who can sign it? The chairman can sign it. And because of some reason, if the chairman is not able to sign because of his death, inability, yeah, then any director duly authorized by the board can sign. This is coming directly into that area. You can see here, Mr. Mohan Rao is the chairman of the company, and Mr. Mohan Rao cannot sign here. So if Mr. Mohan Rao cannot sign because he is traveling out of the country, so who can sign it? A director duly authorized by the board can sign it. Now remember, the minutes of the company has to be given within 30 days from the date of the AGM. So that from the date of the AGM, the minutes have to be given. Easy, so that you have to take care of. Simple. That is what this question was about. Next one. Pristine Limited, a listed public company, listed, very important here, listed public company, conducted its AGM on 31st August 2021. However, 10 days have passed since 31st August, that is from the date of the AGM, but it has still not filed a report on AGM. It has still not filed it. The accounts of the company, the accountant of the company has approached you to advise them whether Pristine Limited is required to file a report on AGM. First of all, because it is a listed company, section number 121 says that yes, report on AGM has to be filed by the company. But we need not worry because only 10 days have passed. The company still has time. That is, company has time of 30 days. 30 days from the date of the AGM. Within 30 days from the date of the AGM, they have to file the report on the AGM. That is what they have to do. But since only 10 days have passed, there's nothing to worry. In the next 20 days, they can do the needful. That is what you will write in this case. RTP May 21 question. Okay. Next one. Explain the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 relating to quorum for general meeting of a public company having total 30 members, of which 2 members, they have written here, are body corporates and 1 member is the President of India. Like that, the split is there. Whether representatives appointed by body corporate and the President of India participate in general meeting shall be counted for quorum, and can such representative cast vote at the AGM? That is what the question is about. Now here you will understand that, see, whenever a meeting is conducted, okay, a meeting is conducted, we have to take care of the quorum part. In the quorum, member should be personally present. Member should be personally present. Section number 112 talks about representatives of the President of India or Governor, and 113 talks about representative of the body corporate creditors. Now you'll understand here that whenever representation is done under section 112, 113, you have to give them the respect of a member only. When they say representative, they don't mean proxy. You have to give them respect of a member only. So here, first of all, you will write, see, because there are total 30 members in the company, the 30 members in the company. So the quorum, and that to public company. So the quorum will be how much? Quorum will be 5 members, because it is falling under the category of, that is that is up to 1000 members, correct? So up to 1000 members, if they are there, so 30 members falls under up to 1000 category. So 5 members will be the quorum. Now that is what you just mentioned. They have not said that only the only 2 members of the body corporate and 1 member of the representing President of India, or one member is the President of India. Only they have come. They are not saying that. They have just mentioned that these 3 persons have also come. What to do regarding these? We will just say that these 3 persons, that is the 2 members who are representing the body corporate and 1 member who's President of India, when they come for the meeting, can they act as members? The answer is yes. Can they act as members? The answer is okay. Even their representatives will be, of course, members only. Easy to understand, simple. That is May 19. Small question for 3 marks. Next one. The Articles of Association of DJA Limited require the personal presence of 7 members to constitute quorum of general meeting. The company has 965 members as on the date of meeting. Fine. The following persons were present in the extraordinary meeting to consider the appointment of the managing director. This part is very important, appointment of managing director. Now take the clues first and then we'll look into the parts. Let's see this. The company has, they have first look at the name. They have not mentioned public company, but with the name only you can understand it's a public company. Private limited is not written, it is limited. It's a public company. When a public company is there, if up to 1000 members are there, in this case 965 members are there, you'll understand that the quorum is how much? Quorum is 5. Or remember always, you have to all, if they have given separately in the question that articles of association specify for some number, so AOA gives how much? So quorum that is kept by the company, once again, quorum as per the act is 5, but the AOA prescribes a higher number, then we have to take 5 or 7, whichever is higher. So in this case, 7 will be the quorum for the company. So this 7 number will become the quorum. So you need 7 members to attend the company's meeting. Okay. Now let's see who has come and who has not come. First, let's see. A, the representative of governor of UP, will he be counted in quorum? The answer is yes. So I'm just writing here 1. Okay, he'll be counted as 1 person. B and C, shareholders of preference shares. Now see, the discussion matter is in relation to the appointment of managing director. Are the preference shareholders, is the preference shareholders interest directly associated with the appointment of managing director? The answer is no, it is not. So preference shareholders in this case will not get the right to vote. They will not get the right to vote. Okay. Next, D is representing Y Limited and Z Limited. So remember, D will be taken as 2 persons. So I'm just writing here 2 here. Okay. Because he's representing 2 companies, so he'll be taken as, he'll be treated as if 2 members have come. Okay. E, F, G, and H as proxies of shareholders. Now be very careful. Whenever we see for quorum, no, it is always members should be personally present. They should be personally present. Okay. So are the members personally present who are you have sent the proxies? The answer is no. Their members are not personally present. They have sent their proxies. You know, so they have sent their proxies. E, F, G, and H are proxies of the members. Members are not there personally. You will understand these are the only parties who are there. So total comes to 3. We needed a quorum of how much? 7. Is the quorum satisfied? The answer is no. Can it be said that the quorum was present in the meeting? The answer will be no. The quorum was not present. Easy. Okay. KMN Limited scheduled its AGM to be held on 11th March 2022 at 11 a.m. The company has 900 members On 11th March 2022, following persons were present at 11:30. That is okay. Within half an hour, some people had come. Now let's see 11:30 a.m. who all had come. So first understand they have clearly said here limited. It means it's a public company. Now what have they said? They have said P1, P2, and P3 shareholders. So P1, P2, P3 represent the shareholder. P4 representing ABC Limited. Okay, so P4 is representing ABC Limited. That is under section number 113 because it is representing a body corporate. P5 representing DEF Limited. Same, it is also representing under section number 113. So it should be treated as members only. P6 and P7 as proxies of the shareholder. Now see, they come as proxies. Okay, that is what they are given here. Based on the above, answer the following. So they are first given here. Examine with relevant reference to relevant provisions of the Companies Act whether quorum was present in the meeting. Now here, no, they are basically testing the mindset of the student. Okay? Now understand here, they have said nothing about the number of members in the company. Here, the students have to first take an assumption. They have to take an assumption that we are assuming that the company is having. Oh, 1 minute, 1 minute. They have given here, my mistake. They have given here 900 members. My bad. So it is up to 1000 members. So when up to 1000 members are there in a public company, we will say that the quorum will be 5 members as per the act. As per the act, quorum is 5 members. But is the articles of association saying anything? The answer is no. Articles is, they have not mentioned anything about the articles till now. The articles is not saying anything. You can just assume or write a line in the paper that is assume that articles is silent about the quorum. Okay? Because articles we had seen in the previous question, the articles can also give a higher quorum, okay, a higher number as quorum. Now 5 members is the quorum. Now P1, P2, P3 as shareholders, so they will constitute 3. This P4 will constitute 1 and P5 will also constitute 1. So is 5 satisfied? The answer is yes. So first question is whether quorum was present in the meeting. The answer is yes. Quorum was present in the meeting. Part number 2 says what will be your answer if P4 representing ABC Limited reach the meeting after 11:30 a.m. See, quorum has to be present within half an hour from the time on which the meeting is called. Here you will see that P4 is coming after half an hour. Okay, no, that is after 11:30 a.m. So in this case, what will happen? The quorum will not be 5, the quorum will become 4, and then hence we will say that a quorum is not there for the meeting. Next, they have said, in case of lack of quorum, discuss the provisions as applicable for the adjourned meeting in terms of date, time, and place. Whenever quorum is not there, the meeting is postponed or adjourned to the same time, same place in the next week, and or any other time and place as decided by the board of directors. Okay, so that is what we'll say in relation to this part. What happens if there is no quorum in the adjourned meeting also? If, if quorum is not there in the urgent meeting, for example, quorum in this case is 5. If 5 people are not there in the urgent meeting also, then the members who are there in the meeting, suppose 3 members are only there, then they will form the quorum. Okay, they will be considered to be the quorum for the meeting, and the meeting will go on. Simple. That is in relation to urgent meeting. Simple. Very good question for 4 marks in the examination. Mock test paper November 2021. Simple. Okay, let's go ahead. Section number 88 question. Mr. Zoe purchased the shares of Luxy Hairstyles Private Limited at market price in the name of his daughter Mila, who is 4 years old. Mr. Joe, the director of the company, has approached you to advise him on the updation of said change in the register of members, since Mila, being a minor, is incompetent to contract in her capacity. So in this case, of course, we can also figure out that she's 4 year old, so she's incompetent to contract because she's a minor. So what the Companies Act says is that if a minor's name cannot be there in the register of members because the minor is incompetent to contract. But sir, then if the shares are purchased in the name of the minor, then whose name should be there? Then the name of the guardian should be there in the register of members. So in this case, Mr. Zoe's name should be there in the register of members because he's the guardian. Simple, easy. Next one. Tulip Limited maintains a register of members at a registered office in Mumbai. The group of members residing in Kolkata want to keep the register of members at Kolkata. Explain the provisions of the Companies Act 2013 whether the company can keep the registers and returns at Kolkata. That is what they have asked. Next part of the question is, does Mr. Rich, holding 94 shares of total worth rupees 4,000 only, has the right to inspect the register of members? Okay. So this question is divided into 2 sections actually. Section 88 definitely is there. Along with that, there is section number 90. There is section number 94 also. Okay, section number 94 is also there. That is place of keeping and inspection of the registers, returns, etc. Now let's see this part very carefully. Now see this. QLIP Limited it has a registered office in Mumbai. See, ideally the register of members will be kept in the registered office of the company only. However, if these two conditions are fulfilled, it can be kept at some other city also. First of all, special resolution has to be passed. Plus, 1/10 of our members should reside in that other city where we are intending to keep the register of members. So first of all, we'll say that the company has to check whether in Kolkata 1/10 of the members are residing or not. Okay? Only 1/10 of the members of the company are residing in Kolkata. The company can go ahead, pass a special resolution, and then keep the register of members in Kolkata. In that city, they can keep. Okay? Second, they have asked here is Mr. Rich, holding 400 shares of total worth of 4,000 only, has the right to inspect the register of members. The answer is absolutely yes. He has the right to inspect the register of members. There is no problem. Just that it will be available for inspection only during business hours. So you can come during business hours, and it is also free of cost. Free of cost during business hours, he can inspect the register of members, okay, because he is one of the members of the company. He's a shareholder. Easy to understand. Okay, let's go ahead. Mr. and Mrs. and Mr. Sanklecha recently got married and jointly purchased the shares of New Hopes India Private Limited on 14th August 2021. Mr. Sanklecha intimated the company that only the name of his wife, very important, only the name of his wife should appear in the records of the company. Okay, no, very loving husband. So only the name of his wife should appear in the records of the company for the shares purchased by them. The secretary of the company is not sure whether this is possible, given that the shares are held in the names of both the persons. Now understand this very carefully. Whenever the shares are jointly held, okay, no, so whenever the shares are jointly held, there can be two possibilities. Okay? First is either the person can tell the company the order in which the name should be written in the register of members, the order in which the name should be written. So first, it can Mrs. Sanklecha's name can be written, and after that, Mr. Sanklecha's name can be written. It can be done in that way, or they can uh, divide the shares among themselves. That is, they can split the ownership of the shares, split the naming part. Okay, so I'm just writing split the naming. As I explain you this part, see what they can do is they can if suppose if they are having 100 shares, so under Mrs. Sanklecha's name there can be 100 shares, and Mr. Sanklecha's name there can be 100 shares. That is also fine. But here Mr. Sanklecha is saying what, that only the name of the wife should appear in the records of the company. Now this is not allowed. See, only the name of the wife when they are saying no, this is not allowed. This is not allowed as per the company. Yeah. So what they are saying is, so Mr. Sanklecha can simply do what, he can request the company that first Mrs. Sanklecha's name should be written, that his name should be written. So he can set the order in this case. Okay. So if he does that, then Mrs. Sanklecha's name is already appearing first. So that should satisfy his condition. But only having his wife's name in the record, that is not allowed. Easy, simple to understand. Okay. Bazaar Limited called its AGM in order to lay down the financial statements of shareholders' approval. Due to the want of quorum, the meeting was cancelled. The directors did not file the annual return with the registrar. The directors were of the idea that the time for filing the annual returns within 60 days from the date of AGM would not apply as AGM was cancelled. Has the company contravened the provisions of the Companies Act? If the company has contravened the provisions of the Act, how will it be penalized? That is what they have said. Understand first. The annual returns have to be filed within 60 days from the date of the AGM, from AGM date. This is the basic provision that is there. Now, if the AGM is not held only, so next question will be, sir, if the AGM is not held only, then from which date? If the AGM is not held, then within 60 days from the last date when the AGM should have been held. So within 60 days from the last date when the AGM should have been held. Okay. So whenever the AGM should have been held within 60 days, they should have filed the annual return. Okay. Along with the reason for not why they could not keep the AGM, they have to give the reasons also. Now the company has not done that, so the company will be liable to penalties. Okay, so what is the penalty here? In the case of section number 92, the penalty is normal penalty is 10,000 rupees that they have to pay. 10,000 rupees has to be paid because the AGM is not done. Plus, over and above that, the penalty gets split now. Okay, it is rupees 100 per day for company, 100 per day up to 2 lakhs. This is, remember, for company. For any officer in default, for any OID, officer in default, it is rupees 100 per day, up to 50,000. Up to 50,000. Maximum of 50,000. That is what the penalty. Easy to understand. See, good question. May 18 for 4 marks, mock test paper, October 2020 question. Many students often ask me, sir, penalty questions, are they asked in the exam? This is the prime example of this. Okay. Penalties have to be done equally well. Okay. Like how you study the balance portion. Let's see. Due to heavy rains and floods, Chennai Handloom Limited was unable to convene annual general meeting up to 30th September 2021. The company has not filed the annual financial statements or the annual returns, as the directors of the company are of the view that since the annual general meeting did not take place, the period of 60 days for filing annual return is not applicable, and thus there is no contravention of Section 92 of the Companies Act 2013. Discuss whether the contention of directors is correct. This question is very similar to what we just did. Okay, so you can take the cue from here only and you can easily frame the answer. However, in this question, no, they have also mentioned something interesting, and that is in relation to company has not filed the annual financial statements also. So annual financial statements have to be filed within 30 days from the date of the AGM. You have to file it with the ROC within 30 days from the date of the AGM when the annual financial statements are adopted. Now, if the AGM is not held only, it should be filed with the ROC within 30 days from the last date when the AGM should have been held. So this you can simply mention here. Okay. I know they have mainly asked in relation to section number 92, but because they have also mentioned here annual financial statements, just to be on the safer side, I will recommend the students to also give your knowledge in relation to this part to the examiner. Simple to understand, easy. Okay, that completes this part. Next one, let's go. As per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, every company is required to file with the Registrar of Companies the annual return as prescribed in Section 92 in Form MGT7. Explain the particulars required to be contained in it. That is what the question is. Now, this is purely, it is the particulars that go in section number 92. And students have learned from me, we have done a diagram in this. Okay, so in that we basically say the register office of the company, the principal business activities that the company does, and I do an arrow like this, that is holding company, subsidiary company, associate company of the company, and the contents keep flowing in that manner. In that, we had a very interesting point called as FII. Remember, foreign institutional investment, which I taught in the class. Okay. So what I'll request you all to do is just open section number 92. The particulars have been just given. They have just been jotted down there. Okay. You have to just simply write these particulars, and it had come for 6 marks in May 2018 exam. Okay. So you can easily do this question. Next one. Mr. Beam is holding 500 shares of ZYZ Limited of total worth of 5,000 only. Advise whether he has a right to inspect the registrar member. This also we had covered in that question of tulip. So because he is a shareholder, he will be allowed he will have the right to inspect, but only during business hours, and it will be free of cost for him because he's a member of the company. Okay, very simple one. Let's go ahead. Siraj, shareholder, gives a notice for inspecting proxies 5 days before the meeting is scheduled and approaches the company 2 days before the scheduled meeting for inspecting the same. What is the legal position relating to his actions as per the provisions of the Companies Act 2013? Okay. Now let's understand. He wanted to inspect the proxies. He wanted to inspect the proxies. So he gave a notice for inspecting proxies 5 days before the meeting. Now let's understand few things. When you want to give the proxy names, just a second. When you want to give the proxy names, you have to give it 48 hours before the meeting. 48 hours before the meeting, you have to give. Now, one more thing here, remember, AOA, if it gives for a longer, AOA cannot give longer period. Longer period. What it means, I'll just tell you. In the AOA, no, the company cannot say that you should give the proxy names 100 hours before the meeting. You should give the proxy name 5 days before the meeting. All these things they cannot say. Okay. So proxy names, the act says that it can be given 48 hours before the meeting also. Yes, that is what is the main rule. Second is, now if you want to inspect the register of proxies, if you want to inspect the register of proxies, there are two things. First, you have to give a notice of inspection 3 days before. 3 days before the meeting. you have to give the notice for inspection that you want to inspect. And now, when can you inspect? You can inspect 24 hours before the meeting, and during the meeting you can inspect. So till the end of the meeting, during means till the meeting gets over. During the meeting, 24 hours before and during the meeting, you can inspect. There is no problem. Now, this you should know in relation to the proxy part, that is in relation to the when should the proxy name should be given, and in relation to inspection. Now you will find this question very easy. See, Siraj, a shareholder gives notice of inspecting proxy 5 days before the meeting is scheduled. 5 days before he gives. So notice had to be given 3 days before. So easy, correct in this case. The answer is yes. And approaches the company 2 days before the scheduled meeting for inspecting the same. 2 days before he has approached the company and saying that, see, I want to inspect. Is it allowed? The answer is no. He'll only be allowed to inspect 24 hours before and during the meeting only. He'll not be allowed to inspect before that. Okay, so that is what the legal position is. Easy. That is your mock test paper question of August 2018. A company received a proxy form 54 hours before the time fixed for the start of the meeting. The company refused to accept the proxy form on the ground that the articles of the company provided the proxy form must be filed 60 hours before the start of the meeting. So articles are giving a longer period here. The person has approached 54 hours before the meeting, but they are, in the company's article mentions that 60 hours before the start of the meeting, you have to give the proxy name. So here the proxy holder has compelled the company to admit the proxy. He's saying, no, 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 Companies Act says that it is allowed 48 hours before if I give it is allowed. Now let's analyze this. This only I explained previously. Proxy name or names can be given 48 hours before the meeting. Okay. So it means that if the meeting is today, 48 hours before is the, at maximum, late say, in Hindi we say, late say late. It should be given 48 hours before the meeting. Okay. AOA cannot give a longer period. AOA cannot suggest a longer period. It cannot say no 60 hours, 80 hours, 100 hours. It cannot say. In this case, AOA is saying 60 hours, and that is why they are saying you are giving the proxy form 54 hours before the meeting. So you are incorrect. Actually, this proxy holder is not incorrect. Why this proxy holder is not incorrect? Because he has come 48 hours before the meeting, and he's right in this case. So the proxy holder can compel the company to admit the proxy. He's correct in this case. Okay. Next one. Examine the validity of the following decisions of the board of directors with reference to the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. In an AGM of the company, having share capital 80 members present in person or by proxy, holding more than 1/10 of the TOVO, that is total voting power, demanded for poll. The chairman of the meeting rejected the request on the ground that only the members present in person can demand for poll. The chairman is saying only the members present in person can demand for poll. This is a very nice question because this will test whether which student has done the law in depth or with great detail. Okay. The law clearly says, and if you open section number 109 of the Companies Act, that is in relation to demand for poll, okay, it is clearly written there that whenever we see members who are present, whenever we see in relation to the members who can demand for poll, it can either be the person or it can be the proxy also. So when the chairman is saying here that no, 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 we are rejecting your request because you are a proxy and only the members present in person can demand for a poll, the chairman is incorrect in this case. Is incorrect. Okay. Next one. In an AGM, during the process of poll, the members who earlier demanded for poll want to withdraw it. The chairman of the meeting rejected the request on the ground that once the poll started, it cannot be withdrawn, is what the chairman is saying. Can the poll be withdrawn? The answer is yes. The section provides that the poll can be withdrawn. Okay, demand for poll when you have already demanded for a poll. Can the people who have demanded for a poll can they withdraw it? The answer is absolutely yes. Okay. Mock test paper March 18 question, May 20 question, RTP November 18 question. Easy, simple. State with reason whether the following statement is correct or incorrect. An AGM can be held on a national holiday. They are given national holiday. Can it be conducted on national holiday? The answer is no. The law clearly says AGM time will be 9 a.m. to 6. AGM should be conducted between 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It should be on a day which is not a national holiday. So whatever CG defines as national holiday, it cannot be conducted on those days. Okay, currently, 26th January, 15th August, 2nd of October. Okay, now all these days in India are considered to be national holiday. Next one. The company should file its annual return within 6 months from the closing of the financial year. Absolutely incorrect statement. This is also incorrect. Even this is incorrect. Annual return has to be filed within 60 days from the date of the AGM. In the case where the AGM is not held, on the last date when the AGM should have been held, along with the reason why the AGM was not held, this should be done. And along with any fees or additional fees as given in the law. Easy to understand, that is given, and this is mock test paper April 2021 question. Because of both the statements are incorrect. That ends our part two of management administration question and answers. Okay. Now, if there are any other kind of videos that you want me to give, I'm going to cover this series in any case, in which I'll be covering all the past ICAI questions in relation to all the chapters of company law. If you want me to make any other series that will really help you, let me know in the comment section below. Okay. And if you like this format in which I'm covering the questions so that it is easy for you to assimilate the answer in your mind and it will help you in your preparation, please press the like button and also comment if you like the video. And also share it with your friends, any group that you're part of, do share it there. I wish you all the best. Karthik sir here. Take care.